All right, guys, we got another video here. This one is called Why Aren't Men Getting Married Anymore? Men are giving up on marriage. Let's check this one out.
I fumbled the man I probably should have married.
Right.
And I'm making this post so that y'all don't do the same thing that I did.
Sir, women file for divorce at a 70 or 80% rate because men aren't doing the work.
It's mostly men saying how they're having to rebuild their life because they had to give so
70% of women initiate divorce.
Modern women today make so many excuses as to why they destroy their marriages. Many says that men aren't doing the work, when in reality they're just unhappy and bored, wanting to get back in the streets.
You think this is normal? You work all day and then hide out here instead of being inside.
I just want 10 minutes of peace.
Unbelievable.
Wow. He works all day. Keep that in mind. He works all day. And then he comes home and he can't even get 10 minutes of peace without his significant other bitching and moaning at this man for not coming in the house as soon as he gets home. Already dictating his movements the second he gets home from providing for the family. Look at that. How ridiculous.
Because
if you meet a man who is over 40 years old and he's never been married, run. Because a man that has made it his entire adult life and has never decided to commit to one woman is a problem.
Have you ever fantasized about leaving your marriage? 70% of women initiate divorce. And you know why? Because we're friggin' unhappy.
Shut your crooked mouth ass up, okay? And that's probably why you're not with anyone, okay? Just stop. Guys, stop the cap. That is not our responsibility to make you happy, guys. That is your responsibility. I keep telling women this shit. It is not a man's responsibility to make you feel better, okay? That's on you. And that's why you guys will always be miserable. The ones who feel this way, the ones who move like this, guys, you can't please those. You just can't.
We want more out of life than just all of the boxes to be checked on the form. The house, the car, the family, the boat, the vacation property, the job, the whatever it is. Our life as women is more than that.
And that's why this woman here talking to you right now is not going to find anyone ever again. I promise you, I almost bet my life on it that she's going to stay where she's at. And that's why a lot of them, anybody who moves like this and thinks like this, guys, they're going to remain single. Okay. And they're going to refuse to believe that it's them. And that's the funny curse. That's the funny thing about it all. They'll go to their graves thinking that it was never them. But in reality, it always was.
Our life is emotional connection, intimacy, a partnership that we can actually feel is our partner. We want someone who inspires us intellectually and physically and emotionally, and who truly is someone we can build with. It's not surprising that a lot of us are unhappy.
They've watched too much TV. They've watched too many movies, guys. And I think that's what this is. This is brain rot from too many outside influences, guys. All right. And they can't decipher what love really is from a man compared to what they see in fantasy and on TV.
Yet, we don't make the decision to leave. We carry the weight of everyone else's opinions and needs on us, holding us back from pursuing our joy.
This woman says that women leave their marriages because they're unhappy. And even if the man provides her with a house, vacation and cars, etc., it's still not enough. A woman who say we want more out of life than all the boxes to be checked is not someone a man could please in any area, even emotionally. She's talking about connecting on an emotional level, right? But when men do get to that level and open up, their women seem to always use it as ammunition against them. And this is where a lot of men get confused, because the message men hear is, be more emotional, open up, be vulnerable, communicate more. But many men feel like when they finally do that, it changes how their partner sees them. Instead of it bringing them closer, it sometimes feels like it lowers respect or gets brought up later during arguments. This woman is also confused. Men and women view love differently.
Facts.
When these types of women describe how they want their man to tap into their emotion, it's all about how he makes them feel, but they rarely explain how they make him feel.
Married women are cheating more than married men these days. Why? The reason is clear, because they are getting married to a man who has a lifestyle they think they want. But after a few years or months, when that lifestyle excitement fades away, they feel they are not with a man whom they are interested in. So when they meet the man of their idealization outside their wedding, they feel it's time to drift away. Let me know in the comment section, what are your thoughts about it?
Why aren't men getting married anymore? It's not because they hate love or they're against love. It's because the system is actually stacked against them. In 1960, 72% of adults were married, and today it's barely 50%. And among men under 30, it's pretty much nowhere. Here's why. Divorce courts, they'll take all of the man's money, they'll take the kids, they'll take the house. 90% of child custody goes to women, and men pay millions in child support and alimony every year. Then there's the happy wife, happy life culture where men sacrifice everything to keep the peace. Meanwhile, if a man wants traditional roles, it's labeled as toxic. So men naturally ask themselves, what is the upside?
I mean, that's just all facts right there. And when it comes from a woman, it's kind of like you just saw a unicorn. So you have to take that into consideration. But it is definitely all true. And that's just the world we live in today, guys. That's just what it is. If you're married now and happily married at that, consider yourself extremely lucky and blessed. If you are not, then consider that, what's the word I'm looking for? A casualty of today's society. That's just what it is. And anyone who is into social media, especially women, you're going to have to deal with that. That's something you're going to have to tackle. I guarantee it. And most men are opting not to do it. And it would save themselves heartache, pain, money, drama. So that is why they are avoiding it like the plague.
And for a lot of guys, there isn't one. It's not that men in general hate commitment. They hate commitment to a system that is designed to punish them for existing. Till marriage becomes a partnership and not a legal liability, men will continue to keep saying no thanks. Do you think men are right to walk away from the thought of marriage, or do you think that marriage is still worth it? Let me know in the comments.
We live in a generation where marriages does more harm than good for men. That's why many men aren't getting married anymore. And it honestly doesn't make sense. A woman could leave and get rewarded for it, while a man lose everything in that process. And because of that, a lot of men are starting to look at marriage like a bad business deal instead of a partnership. If you look at it from a risk versus reward perspective, many men feel like the risk is extremely high and the reward is uncertain. You're told to invest your time, your money, your energy, your protection, your provision, your emotional support. You're told to build and build and build. But there's always this unspoken reality that the other person can leave. And if they do, the system might not treat you fairly in the aftermath.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing now is not that men are afraid of commitment. It's that men are afraid of bad deals.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Men marry the safe girl much more than they marry the dream girl.
Interesting theory. I wonder if that can actually be proven. Or is that just something that some women try to say to justify why they've been left by a man for a better woman? Because from what I have seen, most men actually do marry their dream woman, someone who brings them happiness and peace, as opposed to someone who brings them nothing but nightmares.
And that is because protecting their ego matters more to them than chasing someone who would never accept anything less than the best.
Bitch, shut up! Let's be brutally real. realistic for a moment. There are some women out there who really have not the slightest idea what actually makes a woman a good woman, or has any concept at all of what many men consider to be marriage material in a woman. Because just a friendly reminder, a lot of men usually know very early on in the stages of a relationship if they're ever even going to consider marrying that woman. But the reason most of these women are so lost in the sauce is because they spend the majority of their time listening to other women, mostly single women, describe the best ways to keep a man in a relationship.
And that is a recipe to lose them. And that's the funny joke. That is the inside joke of all of that, guys. A bunch of single, desperate, upset, and distraught women telling other women how to move so they can be just like them. Trauma bonding.
A stay-at-home mom, we had 3 kids, and I just got lonely and bored. And she says that when she would bring it up, like, he would take her out, but it was just boring to her. Like, she needed some excitement in her life. She felt like she was just a mom and a wife, and her husband just wasn't doing that for her.
Wait for it. First of all, your relationship isn't supposed to bring everything into your life. You've got to do the work. You've got to bring stuff into your life. There's a lot of women out there who end up divorced because they have these massive expectations out of their man, can't figure out why their life is empty when they don't do anything to bring value into their own lives. And then this ends up happening.
Confused because I was like, okay, so you divorced him because he was always working and you were bored. So now you're single, going out, having a good time, dating, but you don't like that. Now you want someone to take care of you, a provider. And your ex-husband, all he wanted to do was be a provider. That's why now he is dating someone who he has no problem providing for her and her kids.
This happens to good men all the time, unfortunately. That's why I'm always telling you ladies to give that divorced man a chance. Because a lot of times he was just with a woman that never appreciated him, never was there for him, and if you just treat him with basic human decency, he will treat you like a queen. And then you treat him good too, and you guys have a happy relationship. Don't be one of these women. Appreciate your man.
Amazing, isn't it? Now she regrets her divorce.
Look, man, I witnessed this, okay, growing up. I witnessed it, okay? My father was with my mother. My mother had 3 kids with my father. My mother wasn't a very good wife in certain aspects, and they divorced. They even remarried and got divorced again. And my father finally got with a woman, had 3 more kids, and they're still married to this day. Okay? Still alive and kicking, married to this day. Taking trips, doing their thing, living their best life, yada, yada, yada. And as a kid, I didn't understand that. But as I became a man and I started understanding relationships and how they moved and how everything worked, I realized that my mother did a lot of bad shit. Okay? And it wasn't because of my dad. She was by herself because she did it to herself, basically. She did it to herself. And she never recovered from that. She never ended up remarrying. She never ended up getting with anybody on a serious note ever again. It was just a revolving door. I remember seeing all kinds of different guys, you know, growing up throughout that time. And I didn't understand then, but I understand now. And she never apologized for it. She never took accountability for any of the things that happened or she did. And she went to the grave like that. And the sad reality is a lot of women are in her same shoes and they have the same fate written out for them. My mother-in-law, same thing. Okay. Never recovered, lives alone in a tiny house by herself and will probably die there. That's the reality of it.
He made her a stay-at-home wife with 3 kids, and she got bored and wanted to explore the streets. Seems like that exploring brought her back to reality, because the excitement she was looking for was nowhere to be found. When women leave and destroy their marriages thinking the grass will be greener, what they often don't realize is that the grass is only greener where people are watering it. What a lot of people call boredom in a marriage is actually stability. It's routine. It's predictability. When women leaves a stable marriage to see what else is out there, They are usually imagining a fantasy, and that fantasy a lot of times doesn't play out the way they thought, and they regret it, just like this woman. The fantasy is usually built on moments, not on a real day-to-day lifestyle. They leave, thinking there is a better life waiting, and at first everything feels exciting because it's new. But new doesn't mean better, it just means different. And when the new feeling wears off, that's when reality shows up. That's when people start to realize that what they had was not as bad as they convinced themselves it was.
70% of divorces are initiated by women. And as a divorce lawyer, I can tell you that women are not divorcing men because they're bored or ungrateful. They're divorcing because they're tired of doing everything. In marriages where both partners are college educated, that number actually jumps to 90%. But why? What is making these women walk away in such high numbers? Well, the answer is simple. Women are expected to work like they have no children and parent like they have no job. They're expected to be the emotional support system, the household manager, the one who remembers birthdays, doctor's appointments, and what shoe size the children wear. Meanwhile, many men still believe that just providing a paycheck is enough, but it's not. Women are not leaving because they hate marriage. They're leaving because they're exhausted. They're tired of doing all the invisible labor that no one acknowledges. They're tired of being expected to handle everything while their husband thinks he's helping when he loads the dishwasher once a week. Most women do not leave for another man. They leave for themselves. They leave because they refuse to live another decade feeling like a single mother while being married.
So let me get this right. They leave because they feel like the husband's not doing enough at the house, or I guess the relationship, right? Like she said, filling the dishwasher once a week. So they say, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. So instead, I'm going to leave. I'm going to cut my income in half. I'm going to go out on my own. I'm going to take the kids and I'm going to struggle and do the same shit that I was doing with my husband, but I actually had a husband then. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm doing it for me. And a lot of these women think that, believe it or not, they really believe this, that they're going to go out and find some other man who's going to look at that and say, yeah, I want to be with that. You can't make this shit up.
Why are so many men refusing to get married? This is an interesting question, and I don't know if men actually are refusing to get married or not, but it could be a few things. It could be that there's misconceptions about what marriage is. We hear a lot about who benefits from marriage. Is there a benefit to marriage? We hear a lot about men who are taken advantage of in the divorce process or feel like they lost something. I also think there's this mindset where you're with someone, but you're wondering if something better is out there. So why would you commit to marriage if you're worried you're going to miss out on something better? What I would say to women in that situation is if your partner doesn't want to marry you and you want to get married, leave, break up. That's going to end with you guys breaking up anyway. And if you're a single man who never wants to get married, let us know why. We're really curious.
I'm very much stuck in the mentality of what can I do for you? Did you sleep? Did you eat? What do you need from me to make your day easier? Like a partner, a teammate, that kind of thinking. And in this generation of dating, that's a nightmare to be this way. I will say that like the dating scene is completely different than what I remember it being 10 plus years ago. Men used to be like pursuers and plan things and would come knock at your door and pick you up, not send a little text like, hey, I'm here, or let me get a nude. You know what I mean? It is so different. Like men used to try. And I do think that men have changed because women have adapted and there's obviously a shift in things.
Men have changed because women have made it that way. The reason why men do the things that they do now is because of you women, social media, the audacity that you guys have, and some of the things that you do. And men are tired of it. That's just as real as you can be. Okay? Let's not play games. Let's not run around the mulberry bush, guys, right? That's just what it is. And her saying what she's saying, of course, they're gonna team female. They have blinders on. when it comes to what they've done. They're not gonna mention that. They're gonna just say it's just men. Let's just blame them, right? Like we just, for no reason, as simple as we are, because men are simple creatures, as simple as we are, we're the one that's causing all this. We're the logical creatures. We're the logical ones, the ones that see that red is red and blue is blue. Okay? We're not thinking about how things make us feel. All right? That's not what we're doing. You're not going to send us to the store to get toothpaste and we're going to come back with everything else but that. We're going to go get toothpaste and we're going to come right back home. You guys are not going to move like that. And that's exactly how most of you women move. I'm just keeping it real.
But yeah, this ain't for me. I definitely will say that this is not my vibe and I am not happy here.
And I'm in it there, guys. And she shouldn't be happy here. And she's probably not going to be, because that's the results. And, you know, you ever heard the term one bad apple spoils the bunch? I mean, that's typically what we're doing here. There's a lot of women out here who are willing to be a good wife and are trying their best to become one. But what sucks is that a lot of women out here have poisoned the well, okay? And now because of that, a lot of men are going to pass over her because of just the pure, unadulterated bullshit that the majority of them are pumping out here. You see it everywhere you go. Social media, you see it everywhere, guys. The audacity of these women today, and that nobody wants to talk about, at least women for sure. And with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. If you enjoyed the content, guys, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. I drop content every single day on this channel. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.